Good morning, Dingoos. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Today I have a short and a sweet and an informative episode, so make sure you stay tuned. And let's just jump right into Bitcoin's price action. But quickly, first, if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you like and subscribe and become a Dingo today, because first off, it's free. Second off, we have an amazing community. And if you want to chit chat about crypto, we also have a Telegram and a Discord link in the bio. So make sure you go ahead and check those out. And now let's just jump right into the Bitcoin price action. And I'm going to do the best TA, technical analysis, that you have ever seen in your life. Are you guys prepared? And you're probably like, how do you do this on CoinGecko and that very traditional, uninformative, no indicator chart? And I'll show you how. So we were once at 41,000, and then we went down, and then we went back up, and then we went back down, and then we went down a little bit more, and then we went back up. And now I predict that in the future we will go up and then down and then probably back up. And that's what I really believe, just off my short-term technical analysis, guys. I'm just playing. Obviously, I'm just playing. I just say that because a lot of short-term technical analysis, and I say a lot because I might even say all short-term technical analysis, a lot of smoke and mirrors and kind of astrology indicator stuff, right? So keep that in mind when you are looking at short-term analysis, because fundamentals don't necessarily play a role in short-term analysis, and one bad news article can take down the price. And so I only look at mid to long-term technical analysis, because that kind of, there's fundamentals incorporated in that price action, right? And obviously fundamentals are looking very good for Bitcoin right now, and I do think we will continue higher later this year. We might consolidate. I would like it to consolidate for a longer period of time. But now let's look at Ethereum's price action. And for the mid to long-term trend analysis for Ethereum, every Q1, Ethereum's price has done well against Bitcoin, and it's looking like it's setting up to do the exact same thing, having another fantastic push, kind of like in the beginning of January, right? Because we are making higher lows, right? Higher lows means we are testing that resistance every time, and every time we test that resistance, we are liquidating sellers. And there's less sellers at that resistance line. And as long as we find buyers at higher lows, that means we are finding higher support levels, which means people are willing to pay a higher price for Ethereum than a week ago. And that is bullish. And that's how you fundamentally analyze technical analysis, right? Because when we are making higher lows, that means something fundamentally is happening that is bullish. It does not mean the lines are making bullish lines. So keep that in mind when you are looking at technical analysis. Make that connection. These lines represent some fundamental bullish thing, right? So keep that in mind. I said keep that in mind about 100 times, but keep that in mind. Now let's have some perspective, because a year ago today, by the time you watch this, is probably a year ago and one day, Kobe Bryant died. And that is just some perspective, because he is one of the greatest of all time basketball players. And no matter who we are, we all share the same fate. We all die, guys. No matter how rich, no matter how prestigious you are, we all die. And I remember Shaq's son, I forget his name, but he sent a DM on Instagram to Kobe Bryant, and then the following morning Kobe Bryant responded, gave him some inspirational comment, and just talked about life with Shaquille's son. And that morning, just almost directly following that DM on Instagram, Kobe Bryant was in that helicopter accident and obviously passed away. So that, and also remember his daughter, because his daughter also passed away in that helicopter accident. So very terrible. Remember, no matter who you are, be humble and don't have much of an ego, because we all share that in common. We all have that in common, right? But now let's look into some old ass memes, because why not? And look at this. History does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme, right? It doesn't repeat exactly, but it does rhyme. And this is what I'm talking about. the printer goes brr, and the Federal Reserve, the people in power that have the influence to print more money, they will. Why? Because why not is the question, is the better question. Why not? And as you can see, they used to do it, but I think this is referring to fractional reserve banking, because back then they didn't have the Federal Reserve, and they did not just, and they were, every note was backed by gold. So the only way to print money was either buy back the gold, which they did during the FDR gold buyback, and they stole Americans' gold basically, and that's the gold at Fort Knox. I might make a video on that, and they might do the same thing with Bitcoin, which is crazy. That's kind of just thinking about the future. Probably won't happen, but good to think about. But this is the Chase patent group. I think this is just fractional reserve banking, and but that is all. I mean, this past March, most of the money printed went into the short-term lending markets, the repo markets between banks, because the banks were very illiquid. They didn't have much money because either it was loaned out, it was mostly loaned out, so they didn't have much liquidity. So the Federal Reserve printed a bunch of money and flooded the repo market, which once again is the short-term lending market between banks. So say Wells Fargo had a little money and they wanted to short-term lend it to another bank because the other bank was kind of illiquid and then it didn't have enough money to get through the next day, right? And that's how the banking system works together to prevent bank runs. And that's what the Federal Reserve printed a lot of money to provide liquidity to the short-term lending market. So that is what that is. But anyways, awesome to see some forward thinkings running for office. Andrew Yang, the mayor of New York City, I think he will win. I hope he wins. Chamath, the governor of California, he's probably a Bitcoin billionaire at this point. Really awesome to see. Now let's talk about ETH. ETH balances on exchanges has reached a 15-month low. Also, over the past 7 days, the supply on exchanges have dropped 5.2%, with 1.2 million ETH exiting, possibly for cold storage or DEXs. And I think DeFi might be taking some of those, because on exchanges right now you can't really earn a passive income unless that exchange has staking services for your Ethereum, right? Or they are market makers, which some of these people might be market makers. And what market makers are is there's a transaction fees on exchange. I'm not going to get into it, actually. You can look up what market makers are. And now let's talk about Elon Musk, and he says GameStonk. GameStonk. Now, I should have bought his Tesla shorts, man. I still should. They only had $80. But imagine if he tokenized these shorts. You know how much they would be going for? I think they would be going for a pretty equivalent price as Unisocks are, if not more, right? And we'll talk about NFT physicals probably later this week when I make a video about NFTs. And GameStop, look at this, guys. One thing I do want to point out, I remember only if I bought GameStop at $4 and I held all the way through, guys. Although it's very fun to think like that, just remember that knowing when to buy and knowing when to sell are equally as difficult. So say you bought at $4 and then you saw it go all the way to 20 or 15, right? You more than doubled your money. And you would be sitting there at the price is at $14.91, and you would be like, well, I'm up a lot. I probably should sell. And you sell. And then you just watch it go all the way to 160, guys. So knowing when to sell is just as, if not more difficult than knowing when to buy. And that's why I always say dollar cost average, because I mean, he could probably, if you bought at 4 and then you sold, you bought 100 shares and you sold, I mean, whatever $400 equaled. So what's that? 30 shares to equal $400. So 30 shares you sold, and now you have your money that you originally invested back, and the rest is called a moon bag. And that's what it is. You take out what you originally invested, and now it's a risk-free bet, right? If you are a long-term believer, which I'm not really of GameStop. But anyways, Pomp says Reddit users short squeezing Wall Street short sellers after Reddit users outperform Wall Street hedge funds by simply holding Bitcoin for the last 5 years is exactly why I love the internet. Sorry, I have a dry throat, but the internet is literally going to change the world. NFTs are insane. Literally, the matrix is upon us. You can buy private land in a digital world right now and start your own business, rent out your own property, build a mall, and sell products out of a digital mall. You can do this all right now, and it's all built on Ethereum. Everything that is that is yours is verifiably yours, right? And that is what's amazing about Ethereum, is because you can build these contracts, and then you can build tokens and NFTs and all these things that can be verifiably yours, and then you can enter into a smart contract and just do crazy things with this contract. You can build a decentralized world in a contract that's put onto Ethereum, guys. Insane. The Matrix will be built on Ethereum, in my opinion. Sorry, my throat is so dry right now. I don't have water on me. But anyways, let's talk about NFTs quickly. Printed books are less valuable if they are not searchable, indexed, and available online. Physical art will suffer the same fate. Why? Because NFTs are better digital objects. Boom, there you go. I totally agree with him. Now let's go into this Cyberpunk that sold for $750 million, 605 Ethereum just a couple days ago. Insane amount. But that hash that crypto or Cyberpunk was sold on was tokenized, and I mean, you can see it right here. It's tokenized as an artwork, and it's an NFT, and it's owned by this address right here. Ooh, dad. It says dad. Maybe that's just the address, but as you can see, a lot of things are getting tokenized as NFTs. You got to be careful, because if you invest in a tokenized art piece, you are also longing and investing in the platform and the person that built it, right? So I could take a screenshot of this right now, produce an NFT, and it would be the exact same thing, except it wasn't this person wouldn't have made it, as well as this platform around it didn't support it, right? So you are not only investing in that piece of art, you're investing in the protocol and platform built around it and the community built around it. So remember that. That is all for today. I hope you liked this. If you found value, please like and subscribe. We are growing exponentially, and it's awesome to see. I'm super excited. But that is all. And if you want to shoot me a follow on Twitter, go ahead. I tweet some awesome stuff once in a while, guys. But anyways, peace out, dingoes, and I'll see you next time. Dingle dingle. No.